Hello my dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to give you some advice on how to always sit elegantly and gracefully in various situations. And if you are already subscribed to my channel, you might know my video about sitting femininely and sitting etiquette. But in this video I will teach you something different. I will go more in depth and focus much more on the posture and on various practical tips on how to sit gracefully, femininely and elegantly, apart from the etiquette, or better said, beyond etiquette. So this video is not focusing so much on etiquette, but on posture, my experience, on little tips and tricks and hacks. And I recommend you to watch it until the end, because I'm sure that you might take something from it that will benefit you in your daily life and make you sit much more elegantly and ladylike in future. The first tip that I want to give you is very basic and very practical. But I usually start with a very basic tip, and this one is also much more important than you might think. And usually we don't even think about that. And it is: choose the right chair. Especially choose a comfortable chair. If you have the opportunity to choose the chair you will be sitting on, you should take this opportunity and choose wisely. And we often have it as a lady because there are places, for example restaurants or lounges or beach clubs or bars, where there are always several kinds of sitting options. Usually there is a normal chair, the normal restaurant chair that you usually sit on at the table. Then there are lower, more sofa-like chairs or even sofas. In many new and modern restaurants they have those kind of lounge areas where you can also eat something but also sit or drink something. And of course there is the classic high chair, which is usually there at the bar, and most restaurants have bars, or there are bars without restaurants or with restaurants, but these chairs are very common. So if you are invited there and the person that invited you lets you choose, or you go somewhere spontaneously, I would recommend you to choose the normal chair if you are wearing a more difficult outfit. For example, a tight skirt, a short skirt or dress, or a pencil skirt. So a skirt like I am wearing today is something in between. It's kind of pencil skirt but rather short, and it is tight. And this kind of skirt is best with sitting on a totally normal chair, because first of all you won't have to worry about your position, about the position of your legs, and also about how it looks like if someone can look under your skirt, how you can sit comfortably. On the contrary, with such an outfit, choosing the sofa or the high chair with such an outfit will be more of a challenge. Of course, I have videos about how to sit on a sofa, for example. I will link that video here and also down below for later if you haven't seen it. But if you have the chance, pick something easier. In contrast, if you are wearing a pants or something more elastic, something like an A-line skirt or a flowy dress, you can also easily choose the sofa or the high chair at the bar. You won't have any issue. You will be able to sit and move comfortably, and your legs also won't be restricted to just one specific position. So in general, with difficult clothes, choose a chair with a good backrest, and also armrests can help you to maintain a good posture, and also of course to sit more elegantly. By the way, in the end of this video I will do a nice demonstration with all kinds of chairs and also summarizing all the tips, so stay until the end and keep watching because it will be very useful. I will also show how to not do it. And if you are new to my channel and like that kind of topics and want to see more, click the subscribe button and also the notification bell. That's quite important because only then you will be notified when I upload a new video. So I would be very happy to welcome you. And now let's go on with the next point. Tip number 2, sit up straight. This is another basic that does not really have to do with etiquette or with your leg position, but overall posture. And good posture involves sitting straight with your shoulders back and down and your head high and in the right position. This can make you look and feel more graceful and elegant, and you will also sit much more elegantly that way. So never slouch your back. For example, if you are leaning back, we, especially when sitting on a sofa in a kind of lounge area, many women tend to sit back like that and then slouch their back. And of course, it is comfortable and maybe you might be used to that when you are sitting on your sofa at home. But if you're in the public and you want to look more graceful and feminine, then you should avoid slouching your back, even when you are sitting on a sofa. But more about the right posture in this video. I will also link it down below for later, if you haven't seen it. Tip number 3, keep your feet flat on the ground if you don't apply one of the 3 or 4 leg and feet positions according to the general etiquette rules. I'm referring here to the ankles crossed, or also known as Cambridge cross, to the leg tilt, and also to the crossed legs and tilted crossed legs. These positions are not for everyone, and although they are very elegant and they look very feminine and graceful, for some women and in some situations they are uncomfortable. I have experienced that myself, that sometimes just felt off to sit like that with the leg tilt and the ankles crossed, and I found it much more comfortable to simply sit with my knees together and my feet flat on the ground. And actually, this is a very good alternative that you can apply. And you can sit like that in every situation. It will still look feminine and elegant, especially if you keep your knees together and your feet next to each other. It is simply a normal, neat, feminine, graceful, neutral sitting position. So don't hesitate to use that simple position. You don't have to always complicate your life with those fancy leg tilts and crossed legs and ankles crossed. It is of course nice to know and it is nice to apply in specific situations, but it's not always necessary. I wanted to give you an alternative here. But what you should always avoid is to, for example, tuck your feet under your chair when you're sitting at the table. This is quite comfortable and I also sometimes do that, but actually it doesn't really look good. And also it changes your whole posture. And sometimes it makes you appear tense. It makes you look uncomfortable. Number 4, avoid fidgeting. So most elegant and composed people tend to sit calmly. They tend to sit more still and composed. So you will of course look much more graceful and elegant if you avoid nervous movements and fidgeting, as these can really distract from your overall feminine, graceful appearance. Very common and something that I also tended to do is sitting with my legs crossed and then waving my foot up and down. And I think that many of us or many women are doing that because I sometimes observe that. And I don't know, it's something, I don't know why, but it always looks a little bit impatient or even nervous, depending on the situation. So this would be such a movement that you should pay attention to and rather avoid if you want to sit more like a lady and also appear more composed and poised. Number 5, use your hands and arms in the right way. So use a good hand and arm posture. So an elegant hand posture involves keeping your hands relaxed and your fingers uncurled. So what I mean here is that you should rather avoid clenching your fists, for example, making your hands and fists tight, and also doing anxious gestures with your hands. I love to use my hands when I'm talking, when explaining something, but there are people who are doing that really too much and also doing specific movements again and again, like something like this, or like moving their fingertips on the table and making sounds. This also looks quite impatient and nervous, and you should try to avoid that. You can actually use several exercises for your hands and fingers to make them appear more elegant and also move more graceful. I have made a whole video about that, and I will link that here and also down below so that you can watch it afterwards. Here I'm going to show you some do's and don'ts while sitting on a classic chair. So always keep your feet flat on the ground, but also keep your knees together. That's the most important. Of course, you can also do the leg tilt if it's comfortable for you, or even close your legs. But in general, if this is not for you, simply keep your knees together. When you sit, always sit up straight. Don't collapse your body or around your back, slouch your back. That doesn't look elegant. Also, don't tuck your feet under the chair. This can look very tense. And avoid sitting on your hands, of course. And also, don't wrap your feet around the legs of the chair. Another thing is avoid fidgeting, like waving your food, for example. Looks very impatient. When you are sitting on the armchair, which is quite common, those chairs are a bit more comfortable and have armrests, you can apply the same sitting technique. Simply keep your knees together. And also, don't collapse. You can of course lean back, but don't round your back while leaning back. Also, avoid leaning forward and resting your chin on your hands, especially when you're sitting on a chair or on an armchair. Even when you're sitting on a simple stool, you can do that in a very feminine and graceful way by keeping your knees together, your feet flat on the ground and your shoulders back, your head up and back, so simply upright. When sitting on a sofa, which is lower than a chair or a stool, usually also keep your knees together. This will always be elegant and graceful. Of course, if it's comfortable for you, you can also tilt or cross your legs on a sofa. It all depends on your outfit and how you feel. But never collapse with your body.